I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to Afterbuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
OMG! That is all I have to say about this episode. It left me speechless, but I am Benny Adams. As you see, I can't even talk right now because this episode was that crazy. But I'm Benny Adams. I'm your host for today. Thank you guys again for joining us for another after show of Grey's Anatomy. Before we get into it, I have to introduce you to my amazing cast. So excited to welcome Miss Chelsea back.
Hi.
The lover of all drama. She does so many shows at Afterbuzz, and she does such an amazing job. What's up, Chelsea?
Okay. What's up? I'm so glad to be back with my Grey's Anatomy panel. And what an episode to come back on, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we have to the left of Chelsea, she is a lover of Mr. Jackson, so stay away, ladies. Miss Lanisha.
Yes, and you guys get ready for Doctor Who because I have a special one for you guys today.
It's all gonna be Alex Karev.
Yes. Yes. And then to the left of Lanisha, she actually does an amazing job at Doctor Who. She's always getting the answers, or at least I think she is.
Doctor Who.
But Miss Bailey.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Cannot wait to get into this episode and talk about it with you all.
Yeah, so as we just said, we have our special segment, Doctor Who. We have some juicy news and gossip. And we have our predictions. So I just want to first know, what did you all think about this episode?
I'll let you go first, girl.
It was so much to really decipher. The whole time it was a lot of emotion to the point that I don't even really know how I can completely feel about it. Overall, though, I left satisfied. I was happy. I know for the past couple weeks I've been voicing that I didn't like they were just leaving it up in the air. So I'm happy that Alex Karev's storyline is done. I am happy that they didn't give him a death ending. And I don't know. I'm good with it.
See, there's a couple times I wanted to give you a hug, Haley. Okay, 'cause,
It was hard for me. This episode was hard.
I was going through the motions too, but more so like in my head, there were certain storylines I was like happy with, and then there were some storylines where I'm just like, no, like mainly I'm gonna say Joe. I'm not happy with Joe's storyline. Okay, but overall, I am happy that they came up with something for Alex Karev.
It's just a lot to process. Like, my mind is still wrapping around the concept, like, okay, Karev is gone, and there's really no way to say goodbye, and that's what they said at the ending. There's not a right way to say goodbye.
Yeah.
So mixed thoughts. Overall, I did like the episode. I think we just liked that we finally have some clarity about where Karev is, because for a while we're like, okay, he's off the canvas, but what's going on here? So I'm glad that we were able to finally have more answers.
Yeah.
But it's still a process. I'm still processing it.
Obviously, I would like to have seen Karev, but I know due to their circumstance of the show, like I know they couldn't get him. So I'm glad that they at least did this.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I thought it was a really unique way to do letters. I didn't expect that whatsoever. So that was really surprising for me. But I also really appreciated how they continued to move the needle on other storylines in the show. They didn't just completely abandon what has been happening this season to fit this episode in. We still saw Miranda, her needle got moved. Still don't know what's going on with Dr. Weber. So those all storylines continue to progress as well. So I really appreciated that they kept us moving along.
Yeah. The writers did an amazing job with this episode. They really did Alex, they really did his story and his character justice, and I can't be mad at it. A couple of shows ago, I was saying, like, I don't understand why he's leaving. I don't understand how they're gonna, like, get him off this show and how they're gonna write him off. And now that we finally see it, it was a very, very good episode. So I was really happy. So let's just get into it. So you guys mentioned it. He sent out 4 letters to Meredith, Joe, Miranda, and Richard. So let's just go in order and let's talk about Meredith's letter. And this is the letter where he drops the bombshell. Not only is he leaving, but he is with Izzie. Now, before we learn about everything else in the letter, just the fact that he is with Izzie, when you guys learned that, what did you guys think?
Pissed off. I was pissed.
For me, I wasn't. I think it was more just okay. You know, I knew in that moment that we kind of knew that he didn't die, and I thought it was like, okay, there's a part of us at a point in time when we were very sad about how things ended with Izzie and Dr. Karev. Whether we can go back to that time or not, there was a time that we were very sad about how and the way the writers ended their story. So for them to kind of come full circle with it, despite how connected we are to Joe and Karev right now, I think for me, it just felt very nostalgic, and the way that they wrote each one of the letters for me is what really solidified that I was like okay with it being Izzie.
All I gotta say is, Alex, I wanted to punch him. I wish I could shake him myself. He did the same thing that Izzie did to him and just up and left. Like,
I think the biggest thing, though, was the kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
he didn't want his 2 kids to grow up and have the lifestyle that he had. And he always kept saying, I want to come back, be this better person. And, you know, we've seen seasons where it was him and his father, and that was very hard for him. You know, he had a hard time grasping that he felt abandoned, and he did not want that for his kids. And he even said in the letter, no, this is more for Joe, but that if there was no kids involved, obviously he would stick with his wife. So
listen, I like how they had made the kids things like they really try to push that.
Lanisha's not
But
buying
here's the thing: you could still be a father and not be with the woman, with the baby mama.
I think
it's
I
true.
don't think it's necessarily like, but what it comes down to is, and he said it also, is he's still in love with Izzie also.
Yeah.
He never felt that chapter completely closed. He never completely had the closure. So there wasn't, basically his love for Joe wasn't strong enough to make him not want to, it didn't outweigh his desire to want to be with his children and be a part of their lives in the 5 years that he had already missed. You know, so I think that's more of where he was going rather than just being like, oh, I'm just going to leave my wife. I think he kind of had to probably weigh pros and cons, and that's why he ended up going with Izzie, because he does obviously still love her. That was like his epic love.
Yeah.
It was. That was his, they showed us in the flashbacks beautifully the times that he still was remembering Izzie and thinking of her. And yes, I will say the one flaw, because I'm seeing it everywhere, is that it's like, okay, he had 10 years, why not reach out to her before? But to me, I thought the writers did a good enough job of letting us know, well, he didn't want to because he just thought, like, when you get left like that,
Right.
you're not going to be the one to initiate anything. You're not going to be the one to just pick up the phone and be like, hey, wanted to see how you're doing, you know? So
and he wanted that part in his life he wanted a new chapter in his life. By hitting her up earlier, he's going back to that same place.
Exactly.
But Lanisha's not
Listen,
buying
I'm
it.
not here for it.
When I first found out that he was with Izzie, I was torn because I was like, well, damn, this sucks. He's with Joe. But at the same time, Izzie's one of my favorite characters on the show. So as a fan, it was cool to see that.
Exactly.
And
That lady was
then
bonkers.
when the kids got brought in, I was all for it. I completely understood it because when kids are involved, it gets sticky. And he already has a love for this woman, you know? So, and like he said, it's a tough situation, and he had to make a choice. And ultimately, he chose the kids, and that was like his main decision, the kids.
So
He said if the kids weren't involved, I think he said this, if kids weren't involved, he would be back with Joe.
he
okay,
did. He
well,
did.
answer this. How come he couldn't take Joe with him if he wanted to be closer to his kids and work something out?
Because Joe doesn't want to go down there.
He didn't give her that option. We'll never know.
Okay.
We'll never know.
But in fairness, despite Lanisha being very anti this, we have to keep in mind it was not the writers, it was not Shonda's decision to do this. It was Justin Chambers' decision to leave the show.
Right.
So
Oh,
he
yeah,
didn't leave them
obviously, yeah.
with much options.
Yeah,
here.
Okay, I understand that. I'm thinking more just like
I
Yeah.
know,
with
in
the
this
story.
situation,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Right.
granted, if Shonda had full range of this, we know she would have worked it differently.
Obviously. I know that. I'm speaking more so just the show.
At the show,
I know the
absolutely.
writers did a good job as far as them exploring the embryos and all that stuff, so.
And mean, if I could have it, I would rather have Justin, Alex, be back on the canvas instead of all these letters telling them to person face to face.
Yes.
But that's the way they had to do it with the letters, which was great.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad they didn't kill him off. It gives us an opportunity.
Yeah.
see, fan with open arms. You never know.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
can come back.
Yes.
He might.
We could
or
strangle
at
him.
least we might get some cameos here and there if whatever
Exactly.
happened can be resolved. Like, we might still get cameos of him from time
Yeah.
to time. And it was funny, right before we started the show, I asked y'all if y'all thought that was actually his voice, and someone in our live chat agreed. They asked the question. They're like, was that his actual voice, or was it basically them taking
Yeah.
him from other parts? But I let them know that it really was him,
Right.
despite what I thought.
All right, let's go to Joe's letter. Do you guys think Joe has a right to be upset, pissed, or should she be more understanding of the situation?
Y'all already know how I feel.
She can go through all the emotions. I think she has the right to be pissed off right now. But then towards the end, when she was really looking at the letter, and it goes back to everything that she was dealing with her own situation, she has to take a step back thinking, you know what, I possibly might do the same thing. And I love it at the end when Link is like, you know what, you're my hero. And she's like, you know, I'm my hero too. And she walks up and she's like, let's get back to work. Today I'm working, tonight whiskey. So she's picking up the pieces. And I think that's when she was realizing, okay, you know, I hate Karev for doing this, but at the same time, this is why I love him.
Yeah. And I will say, I'm going to bounce off of you, Chelsea, because that was, yes, the letter was really special, but at this point, after hearing Meredith's letter, we already knew what was going on. We knew basically what his letter was going to say, but what I appreciated the writers doing is that they continued to advance her character for us.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't stop in time. They had her go through this, and what I even more appreciated was seeing more of her relationship with Link. I know that I want to say last week we kind of talked about is maybe is her storyline going to go to her and Link now being a thing.
Yeah.
given
I know,
what's going on.
Benny.
But I will say, I didn't get those vibes anymore because I saw parallel in their relationship and Karev and Meredith's. The way, seeing all the flashbacks of Meredith and
I didn't think of
Karev,
that.
I was
Look
like,
at you,
wow,
Haley.
their relationship is almost identical to Link
You're
and Joe's.
right.
And then especially when he said, you're my hero, I'm mine too.
Yeah.
It again, like, just tied back to the Meredith letter where Karev says, like, you always were telling us that we were your person, but in reality, you were always your own person.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of really showed me a lot of similarities in those relationships.
I didn't ever thought about that, about the apparel. But now that you like brought it up, now I'm thinking about that. I have to wait for the baby result to ultimately decide what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
If
that's
the baby
true.
result goes a certain way, then I'm gonna be like, okay, Benny's right. They're gonna have
Yeah.
Link and her match
Yeah.
up. So it depends on that result. But ultimately, I gotta give it up for Joe. She's
Yeah.
the star,
Yes.
like for me.
I loved her. I felt like she had different emotions when she was reading the letter, and I loved that when she read that he was with Izzie. You can tell with her emotion, she was upset / disappointed, and then when you hear that she had his kids, there was still a sense of sadness, but a sense of understanding as well. So it's really interesting to see how she'll handle all this. Before we go any further, we have a special announcement that we want to share with you guys.
Yes. Well, we just want to
We
say
gotta let her do it. We gotta let her do it, guys.
thank you guys so much for making AfterBuzz TV the ESPN of TV talk. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a rating on the Apple Podcasts, and leave us a comment. Again, we really just want to thank Kevin and Maria for creating AfterBuzz TV because we're able to engage with you guys as fans and
Do what we love.
We missed it. We missed that, Haley. All right, let's go to Miranda's letter. What did you guys think about Miranda's letter?
I liked how the story tied into, like, what I think what you said kept everything moving. I liked how it tied into her adopting Joey, like, because I like that comparison of him and Alex Karev.
Yep.
And honestly, I'm happy that they give us a little bit of funny moments, calling him the evil spawn in their back and forth relationship.
The flashbacks were amazing.
That was
Great.
The
funny.
flashbacks were so good.
The producers of this show, to be able to pull the specific scenes and manipulate this episode in a way that it left us feeling the way it did, and knowing those key moments to show, I was like, wow, like just I couldn't even imagine how much footage they had to go through to decide what
That's a
scenes
lot.
they wanted to use. But like I think I told y'all when we were watching, is that I liked Miranda's letter simply because the fact it gave me an emotional break, because Meredith and Joe were so hard to get through and to watch and to process, that when it got to Bailey, there couldn't really be much sadness around it, you know, because we knew their relationship and we kind of knew what Bailey's letter was going to be about. There wasn't a ton of sentiment tied to it. So for me, I was like, okay, good. This one can make me breathe now.
Yeah.
And it kind of gave us, like, going back to how Bailey used to be. I liked seeing that.
Yeah,
Because
I
she
love
was
that.
hard back then, y'all.
That was really cool.
Well, you could tell she's definitely a mother now. And I loved how she compared those letters. You know, Karev got lucky when he did all of this stuff, you know, becoming a surgeon, being really great in his class. And now he's a father of 2 and stepping down and not being selfish like he was in season 1 and saying, you know what, I'm going to put everything on the back burner with my career. I have to be here for these kids. I'm going to be here for Izzie. And then I'll continue my career in a different direction. And I loved how Miranda's like, we got to do this now, Ben, with the teenage boy that we adopted, that we have, because we don't have to have that chance for him. We can give him this life. So I like it, Haley, bouncing off of you, how the needle kept moving through their storyline as well.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about Richard's letter?
I'm so confused.
So
Oh my
good.
gosh. But I'm so confused as to, like, what's going on with him, because he's the one that I feel like I didn't get enough from, because they opened up this episode with him actually crumbling up the letter and tossing it before we actually dive into this being a letter from Karev. And then at the end of last week's episode, he gave his stethoscope away. We know that he has some sort of disease that's making his hand shake, so we know basically he's potentially not going to be able to be a doctor anymore. But then in this episode, he talks about kind of not wanting to be a teacher anymore. And so I'm just sitting here like, what the heck is going on with Dr. Weber? I'm so confused.
Yeah, that was probably like my least favorite letter.
Agreed.
I did like the flashbacks, though.
Yeah.
I liked him back with his hair and, like, with his little dances. And I did like going back, seeing his comparison of how he struggled with 2 women as well.
Yes.
And seeing Grey's mom. So I did like the flashbacks.
Yeah.
But this does make me more curious, like what you said, Haley, to what is going on with him in this disease. And I think we're going to figure out more through the other episodes. Yeah.
I love this letter because it's more the metaphor that we got from it. In last episode, you see him talking to the patient saying, you know, I made my career in medicine. That was who defined me, surgery. And now that's possibly going to get taken away from what disease he has. In a way, he's admiring Karev. So maybe crumbling the sheet was like, you know what? I give him props because I didn't get the chance to know Maggie when I had the opportunity to. Struggling with the woman, and Karev is making a different choice than he probably would have made when he was little. And I think Weber is now realizing that there's more to life than just surgery, because now surgery might be taken away from his career. And now what does he have to look forward to that he can depend on? So in a way, he's just processing everything. So I liked his letter.
See, I will say, though, the one thing is I don't, like, Alex Karev, he's about to go be chief of peds somewhere, you know, so it's not really even like his career is taking a step back. He's just becoming a more mature version of himself. And like you said, getting potentially a second chance or an opportunity to do the things that Richard is now sitting here just like, damn, look at all the things that I kind of let go because I was just always holding on to my career.
Exactly.
Yeah, all in all, I think all these people that received the letter from Alex, technically, they all should have some type of understanding of what he's going through. With Meredith, she has her own kids that she gets to raise from, you know, since they've been with her since they were born, pretty much. And she's had her issues with her dad, with Joe. We all know Joe had her issues when she was young. And then Miranda, she's adopting
Joey.
She's adopting Joey.
I don't know if
Ben's
she's
okay with it.
Well, I don't know if
Yeah.
they're officially adopting him,
But
because I want to say,
they want to, though.
I want to say the verbiage they used was just kind of like, she told him, hey, I don't really care if we make this a legal thing. I don't want the money. I don't need any of
Right.
that. I just want you to come live with us, and we can make sure that you get to college and you have a good life.
Right.
Basically.
Yes.
So I don't know
Right.
if like adoption was 100% the like what she said, but we know that he's coming to their family.
Right.
And he's
Awesome.
18, so I don't think he has to.
No,
go through
exactly.
that.
Yeah, and then Richard, he wasn't able to watch Maggie grow up.
Yep.
So I feel like all in all these people should have some type of understanding of what he's going through. Lanisha's looking at me like she's like, okay.
I'm just saying, you can still be a father, but not be with the baby mama. I'm just saying.
All right, let's go to news and gossip.
Okay.
TV News.
So we all said goodbye to Karev tonight on Grey's Anatomy, and the showrunner, Krista Vernoff, has taken the writing staff a while to figure out how they were going to say this goodbye. She states it was very careful threading of needle where we are giving a little bit of information and pain to Joe. We're episode by episode illuminating the story of where Alex is, and it takes us quite a few more episodes to get there and the audience to have that clarity, which is so true with the letters that they've been writing. And Chambers made a statement saying there's no good time to say goodbye to a show and a character that's defined so much of your life for the past 15 years. I want to thank the ABC family, Shonda Rhimes, the original cast members, and the rest of the amazing cast and crew, and of course, the fans for the extraordinary ride. So yeah, very emotional episode.
They did a good job.
But yeah, they did a good job, and I really like that
Props to the
statement that
writers.
Justin said too. You know,
Absolutely.
amazing 15 years of his life.
And I will say the one thing that I forgot I wanted to mention, and he kind of re-triggered it in my brain, is that when I was watching this, I don't know how y'all felt, I almost felt like the letters were written for me as a fan. Like going through it, because
Yes.
we've been through all the phases of Alex Karev and all of his ups and downs and his crazy and his, like, every frustration we've ever had with Alex Karev, there was a part of me that in each one of those letters, he was also writing it to us as the fans.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's what made it even more special.
Especially
really
that
cool.
ending.
Yeah.
It's never easy to say goodbye.
Exactly.
No.
It's not. Grey's Anatomy never makes it easy for us. Let's go to our Doctor Who segment.
Yes, you guys, Doctor Who. So I made it a special, you guys. So
It's all Karev.
all Karev.
All Karev all
yeah.
day.
This is all Karev's scenes.
Okay.
So you have to guess who said this to Karev.
Okay.
Okay.
All right? Nobody cares if the blue is blue or if you have smelling powers. Meredith could die. Any minute she could just die. Actually, stop living. I'm gonna say it one more time. Nobody cares if the blue is blue or if you have smelling powers. Meredith could die. Any minute she could just die. Actually, stop living. All right, show your cameras, okay?
Yay.
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 Christina.
Oh, you guys are both wrong. This was actually Izzie.
Oh,
That was my
So
second guess.
annoying.
That was my second guess.
Yes.
Second guess. Second
When
guess.
Meredith almost drowned.
Yeah.
Whoa, our producer
Wow.
is just really letting us know
We
we're
get
wrong.
it, J-Lo. We're gonna do good.
You guys all lost. All right. I hope you guys get this one. Ready? You want to take credit for your saves and everyone else's? That's fine too. Just stay out of my face.
Oh.
And for the record, you smell like crap.
I know this one.
Yeah, baby!
Yes.
Oh, you guys all
There it is.
Finally.
J-Lo, we need some dings up in
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Party.
Shout out to Tammy who got the first one. She said Izzie
Ooh,
too.
yeah.
Yay, Tammy.
Okay.
Yeah,
One
that
more,
one
you
was in the
guys.
episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
was like, did you
actually
do that on
wrote this
purpose?
before even seeing that.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, did you do this on purpose?
All right, one more, you guys. Ready?
Yes.
Who comes home to somebody else's house and starts sucking face? Who comes home to somebody else's house and starts sucking face?
What was that noise I just made? I don't know.
All right, ready? Show your
I
head.
don't know.
I don't
Ready?
know. I don't know.
You said
Izzie.
Izzie.
Joe.
I said Meredith.
Joe.
Oh my gosh, Benny! Wait, was that in this episode too?
I think it was.
No, this one wasn't in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I could have.
I still got it right.
I thought it was.
It was, I know which one you're talking about, when she showed up with Meredith.
Yes,
and that one.
yes.
No, this was another one when everybody was at the house hooking up.
Yes.
And she went in the house with Karev, like, is everyone in your house sucking face?
Oh, I was just thinking Meredith was saying that because I know Alex and Meredith live together.
Yes. Since we have just a little bit more minutes, I'm gonna give you guys one more.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, you're not gonna let me end on a high note? Okay.
All right. I'm gonna let you get this one. I have a feeling you got this one. Ready? In your dreams, evil spawn.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
It was in this episode.
I feel like a lot of people called him Evil Spawn.
Yeah, but this one in particular said, in your dreams, evil spawn.
oh,
You said Izzy. You said Izzy.
I'm writing Izzy too. Is that when they were fighting?
Oh, this was Yang!
She said that she spoke in this episode?
Yeah, when
She
they did a
did. I remember
flashback.
that now. I remember
You're
that.
right. Well, Betty, you're still our winner.
You're still a winner, Benny. You got
Yeah.
you've been getting some.
I'm glad.
You
I'm
got
happy.
Look at him. He's like beaming over there.
And then shout out
I
to who's
never
the
get
being
any of these
some.
answers right. Never.
Tammy's on her ish. Man, Tammy's great. So is
Yes.
Jenna Brave Unicorn. They both, man, they got him.
Thank you guys for playing this.
Yeah.
This has been so much fun.
It really
Well,
was.
thank you for making up the questions. You always do such a good job.
I had to do it for Karev, you know? I had to do it one
I
time.
liked your
Karev
spin.
and
I liked
Izzy.
your spin. I like that.
Yeah. Let's go to predictions. What do you guys think is going to happen in the next
TV
episode or just the
predictions.
next season?
Ooh, next
or not
episode.
next season,
Next
but rest of
episode
the
looks
season.
so good. While we brainstorm, because I'm sure we all are right now, I'm going to tell y'all we have some of our people in the chat saying that they all think that Richard's storyline is going to lead to his death. That they think Richard is the next main character on the show to die.
But he's not sick. He just
And-
has like a shake.
That's what the
Yeah, but
prediction
you know,
is.
someone's cough turned into a whole death.
True.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
true.
and I
This
mean,
is
that would be,
crazy.
but like, let's put in perspective how crazy it would be if it actually comes to fruition, because then it would literally just be Bailey and Meredith left.
Yeah.
Which is unreal. But with that, I will say that I am going to retract my prediction of Joe and Link, and I definitely think that Amelia and Link are going to work it out.
See,
Okay.
I have a feeling that I hate to say this, but I think Benny's on the dot with this. I think it's gonna be Owens. No. Because I just had a thought. Because I just thought about how Teddy hooked up with
Tom.
So it might not be, but it still might leave a strain between Owen and Teddy because she hooked up with Tom.
Yeah, that's
but
what
she's
I
gonna be
said.
looking dumb because it's not his baby.
Yeah, because in the preview, you don't just make a preview like that where it ends right as Teddy's like, the baby is, and then it's like, okay, that to me gave it away that it's not going to be Owens simply because they cut it in that way in the teaser. Because they want you to think it is, so I'm trying to do some reverse psychology here and say that it's not actually going to be Owen's baby.
But Link might hook up with Joe. I do see a hookup though.
I'm gonna bounce off of you. I think Link and Amelia. Link and
want them
Joe.
together.
Link and Joe are gonna get together.
All right, well, we'll just have to wait and see. But thank you guys so much again for joining us for another after show of Grey's Anatomy. Ladies, take us out.
Okay, I'm Haley Graves. You can find me on Twitter, Haley1Graves2, and on Instagram, Haley Graves with 2 S's. That's HALEYGRAVESS.
And I'm your girl Lanisha. You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Lanisha, spelled LANISHA914.
And you can find me on Instagram at Chelsea Overocker and on Twitter at Chelsea Overocker.
I'm your host, Benny Adams. You can find me on all social media at Benny J. Adams. We will see you guys next week.
Bye.
The big reveal.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to Afterbuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.